Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Bariatric Foodie Live. I am your host, the mellow Nick. And this is my wonderful co-host, the glossy
Shannon. That's
Yeah. Anyway, I try to act out the personality of the wig that I have on, but really I was telling Shannon before we started this broadcast that I am really not a fan of this wig that my wig stylist has put on my head. I understand that it is my wig and I own it, and she has to swap out so that the other wig can go to the wig doctor and be revived from the hell to which I sent it for wearing it for 4 weeks straight. But this wig is just giving me like Nancy McKeon vibes. Like I said, facts of life. Every time I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have,
Mm-hmm. How many wigs do you have?
Oh, let's see.
Like
how many?
the ones that get swapped out.
I never quite asked Shannon. I believe that they keep two at a time. Because I have a plan with my and we should do an episode on what happens when you have hair loss. Anyway, but yeah, I have a plan, and they swap out. I believe they swap out between two different wigs, and this one is like a lighter brown. And then the other one is really, really, if you notice, my hair will go really, really long and dark. That's the other one. That's the one I like. That's my share moment. That's my shh. But this one is good because I try to work out really hard when I have this wig on, because it's really easy to just throw it back in a ponytail. Let me see who is online here with us so far. We have some folks. Let's see. We have Margaret, we have Christy, we have Mary, we have Linda, who can't stay, but she did leave us some tips on stress. And we have Cheryl. Anybody else who is joining us, say hi. We like to see who's watching us. We don't like voyeur situations. Give us some thumbs up, but then also, if you hit the share button, hey, Marianne, if you hit the share button on the live, then it'll share it with people in your timeline, let everybody else know what's going on, and help them discover a good thing, and help us to project our manifesto out into the world. Well, not really. Anyway, moving right along. Not even focusing on that thought too much. Welcome to Bariatric Foodie Live, sponsored by Bariatric Pal. Margaret, if you have no video, I would suggest you X out completely out of the live broadcast and come back in. Other people have had that problem in the past, and sometimes it takes going out and in a couple of times, but you will get it. You'll get it. Anyway. Facebook may be having issues, but anyway, Bariatric Foodie Live, sponsored by bariatricpal.com. We know that Bariatric Pal is our wonderful Amazon of bariatric products. They just have everything. You know what I learned that they have this week?
What?
Shannon, remember when I did that review of the Tespo vitamin machine?
Yes.
I was super nervous to do that review too, because I am not the biggest vitamin guru in the world, and I had people watching me like, is it ASMBS compliant? I'm like, So, but anyway, they have the Tespo vitamin machine and the Tespo vitamins that go with it. So yeah, they truly do. If there is a product that you like, then yes, go get it. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking at these reactions. We spend 3 minutes of every show trying to figure out if people can see and hear us, but I'm not sure what's up with that. I think that's a Facebook thing. And I'm sorry. Hopefully you'll be able to get back in and see us and hear us and all of that good stuff. Refresh the page, X out, close your app, throw your phone on the ground, stomp on it a few times. No, I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. Don't do that, because phones are expensive. Anyway, I also wanted to tell you guys, in addition to, Bariatric Pal being an overall great place, they are running a special right now of 10, I was about to double the daggone discount, have Alex cussing me out, 10% off of vitamins with code VitaminPal. pal through January the 31st.
Hello?
Marion
Hello?
said for you to say something. Can
I'm
you not
here.
can can you not hear Shannon? I'm not sure what that's about.
Hmm.
So y'all gonna have me opening up Facebook on my computer.
I
If
know.
somebody is doing okay on this live, can you just like let us know? Because other
Give us some thumbs.
then we'll see. I can't see. You can see the thumbs. I can't see the
All right.
thumbs from the
No,
dashboard.
you can't see him from the dashboard.
Yeah, it's like being flying totally blind. I mean, hold up. Let me see what it looks like on our page. Hold up. I see us on our page. Hey,
Okay.
there's 20 people on this broadcast.
Woo.
Y'all are all stressed out like we are, aren't you? Anyway, so
Is it
um
low?
oh, it's low. You got to turn it up, Shannon.
I'm trying. Let's see what we can do.
Okay. Let's see, girl.
Can, can you hear
When
me now?
I hear you fine, but
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we check
Yeah.
our own like little,
Right.
volume. Wait a minute. Did I freeze on the computer? Okay, no. Look, I need to just stop watching the broadcast,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And just focus on doing the broadcast because this is just like
Cool.
then I get into like the Nancy McKeon moment again
Right.
and look. Anyway, moving right along. Couple other housekeeping type notes. Let's
Weird.
see. You can sign up for Bariatric Foodie Live updates by going to bariatricfoodie.com/live. And we are going to put that URL in the status message of the show after it's over because we need you. Like, honestly, I seriously, some of you got here because of the fact that you got a reminder that tonight was Thursday and it was Bariatric Foodie Live night because you signed up at that link. We also tell you in advance what we're going to be talking about on the show so that you can decide whether or not you want to tune in now or afterward. It is valuable information and you're going to want to get it. Anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
moving right along. And then one programming note. So, as you all probably know, because I've been talking about it ad nauseum, the Bariatric Foodie Pledge is coming up. That is our goal setting and accountability challenge that we do every February. It starts on January 28th because it always starts on a Sunday. It starts on January 28th. And starting next week, the Bariatric Foodie Live will be all pledge everything, which means that through the entire Bariatric Foodie Pledge, our show is going to be pledge central. Now, here's what that means is that we're going to be doing things like we are going to be talking about our sponsors. Sorry, I had to look at my notes. Like, what the heck do I mean by that? Um, are my teeth blue? I don't know. My teeth
You
aren't
look,
blue on my
you look
screen.
fine to me.
Anyway, so
We
we're
have
getting
all
like
kinds of problems today.
I need okay. I'm gonna ignore the comments for right
Let's
now. I love you guys, but it like
move it on.
throws me off. I'm like, good lord. Anyway, so being all pledge everything means that we are going to be talking about the sponsors for each week. Each week of the pledge, you pledge to make a healthy goal, and then at the end of the week, you hold yourself accountable, and you're able to win prizes for doing both those things. There's a prize drawing each week of the 4-week challenge. So each week, we're going to be talking about our prize sponsors. Each week, we're going to be testing out the prize sponsors' products. Each week, we're going to be highlighting wonderful, amazing things that people participating in this challenge have done during the week that inspire us. Let's see, we're going to be going over during the pledge. Here's something that I feel like I don't explain particularly well, Shannon, is that if you go to bariatricfoodie.com and you look under the menu for the pledge, it'll say, sponsors and prizes. And under when you go to look at each week's prize package, there are discounts there that the sponsors are offering during their sponsored week. Those are available to everybody, regardless of whether or not you are participating in the pledge. So we're going to highlight those discounts because if there is products that you need to buy for yourself, that is the time to get it. They offer amazing discounts in celebration of the pledge. So we're going to be highlighting those to make sure that you know about them. And then also we're going to be bringing our little tips and tricks about goal setting and accountability to Bariatric Foodie Live so that everybody can benefit from that process. But I would really encourage you to just sign up for the Bariatric Foodie Pledge by going to bariatricfoodie.com/take the pledge, because you cannot, while you can enjoy the discounts from the pledge without participating, you cannot win the prizes without participating. So
They're going to want the prizes.
gonna want the prizes. I know everybody says they're not in it for the prizes, but then they win a prize and they're like, yes.
Yes.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want a chance, that you gotta participate in order to win the prizes. Okay, guys? So bariatricfoodie.com/pledge. But starting next week, we start our special pledge coverage. So I just wanted you guys to know that so that you are prepared. Okay, so let's talk about stress, baby.
Oh,
So,
wait a minute. We got to talk about something though.
wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I had this wonderful idea. Okay, Shannon, explain to them what the idea is while I do my part.
And if you've been around for lives, you have seen us do this trick before, but we're going to do the drinking game, and we encourage all of our viewers to participate as well. Today's word that we are going to drink every time we say it is stress.
And
So every time one of us says it, we have to take a drink.
Yes, and we would just like you to know that we are wearing Depends right now.
Try to make it through.
We're gonna I'm like, oh God, my bladder is gonna explode.
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
So I can do it though. I'm up for the challenge, and I'm a little short on water today, so which really has me feeling a lot of stress.
Oh man.
Anyway, let's talk about this, because first of all, I want to talk about the genesis of this show idea, which, like most other show ideas, comes to me like 48 to 72 hours before the show. But I thought it was important because of the fact, well, just personally, I have been experiencing a lot of stress lately, just as the pledge comes up, and that's a busy time, and it's not a bad thing, but it is a busy time. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving parts, and I was just thinking about how it is sometimes a struggle for me to take care of myself as well during times of high stress. And so it's I'm taking a little sip so I can get back to talking. So plus the whole pee thing. Anyway, so it's hard to manage that, and it's hard to remember to take care of yourself, and it's hard to remember that the situation is probably temporary and that it will resolve yourself. It's hard to take that first step out of it. It's hard to see the forest for the trees. So I said, let's just have a show about stress. So anyway, so
this kind of makes me feel like we are toasting to stress.
Look,
to stress.
I'm gonna run out of water before this thing is over, because I know how many times. Oh wait a minute, hold up.
See.
I know how many times this word appears just in our show agenda. So anyway, so let's just first talk about what is the most stressful situation you've had after weight loss surgery. And I'm going to let you go first, Shannon.
Okay.
And I'm just going to well, first of all, what do you have in your cup? What is in your cup? What are you sipping?
I have Crystal Light peach tea. Please don't choke. Please don't choke. You've got water there, but please don't. It's Crystal Light peach tea, and I threw some frozen peaches in it, so just to keep it cold. I'm fancy. There's some fanciness going on today.
I swallowed too fast. Oh God, this game may kill me.
Oh no.
Okay. Anyway, so what is your situation, Shannon, that you have to relay to us?
Okay, so I think that I'm probably going through the most stressful time of my life right now. And it's been over the course of probably the past 2 years. My husband has been in and out of work for the past few years, and we've been struggling to get our finances in order. And I have 2 young kids who don't understand really that mom and dad are working on like low budget. And so I've been grappling with wanting to make sure that they continue to have a normal, kind of childhood, and you want to give them everything that they ask for, but I can't, like, I literally cannot give them even a small percentage of what they want or what they're asking for. And so, that's probably the most stressful thing going on. And it's kind of like, and it's kind of like, I kind of equate it to like being pecked to death by birds. Like if you had gotten like, or like mosquito bites, like one mosquito bite is like, like I can kind of deal with one mosquito. But if you get like a barrage of little teeny tiny bites and they're all kind of like happening at once or like at really quick succession, it gets really like frustrating and really overwhelming. And that's where I am right now with my life. And a lot of that, a lot of our situation is stuff that's not in my direct control. I can't make somebody hire my husband, and I can't turn around tomorrow and give him a job, but I can work on focusing on what I can control. So focusing on working within the means that I do have. And I haven't really been doing as well a job at this as I like to think that I have. I probably have not dealt with the stress very well. I'm drinking because I said stress, and now I'm drinking.
Well, you know what? I'm going to suggest a modification to this game because this show is going to last freaking forever.
Okay.
When whoever's talking, like when you say stress, the other person.
That would work. Yes.
Yes.
All
okay.
Right,
so you're talking right now. So when you say stress, I got to take a drink.
All right.
Vice versa.
Perfect.
Proceed.
Wait a minute. So I probably haven't eaten the best in the past couple years. And I know that at times I have justified that, being that, the typical things that we kind of say when we're on a budget, some of the healthier things that we really like to eat are a little bit out of our budget. And, I've kind of done that, and I have stopped exercising the little, the amount that I had done before. I had kind of stopped doing that. And, so I think in that way, I know, like, I acknowledge that that's happening, and I know what I need to do. Like, and I have been working steadily on doing the things that I can do and controlling and working on the things that I can control, to get myself back into a better state of mind about the stress that I'm going through right now. It's been a pretty long haul, but I don't think that I can think of any other situation that I've been in since surgery that has been as stressful as what I'm dealing with right now. So,
Jen, that was like a whole confessional, girl.
I know, and I think I needed it. Like, I really think
was that cathartic?
It was. It absolutely was.
Can I just say, I love you, girl.
Oh, thank
I
you.
do. Okay.
That made me feel so much better.
You, but I'm in Maryland and you're in Ohio, but I just adore you, and I give thanks every day for the day that you came into my life. So know that.
Thank you.
Okay, if I were a millionaire, it would all be okay for you. I just want you to know that you are like one of those people in my life where it would be all okay for you. If I hit the mega million, give me a minute to recover from my heart attack, but I'm coming for you, Janet. Okay? All right.
Yes.
Okay, so
ready.
So for my most stressful situation from surgery, and nobody's going to be surprised by what I say here. It's actually a tie between two different situations. One of which being when my mom passed away. My mom passed away in 2008, and I was 4 years post-op. And that was, that's the height of stress, just losing somebody. But losing somebody unexpectedly is one of those things that you just don't know where it's coming from. I am the oldest. I'm 9 years older than my brother. It was on me to plan her funeral, and it was the most stressful, heartbreaking time of my life. And I am still in amazement that I got through that period of time in one piece. Were it not for my children, really, they were my rock. They were my bedrock throughout that whole period of time of my life. Especially, my youngest daughter did so much to encourage and support me. My oldest daughter was such a trooper because my mother passed away 3 days before her 13th birthday. So her birthday just sucked all around. But, and she's okay with the fact that, her birthday coincides with me remembering that event. So it's like one of those things where, oh gosh. But, and then the second thing, not surprisingly, was the whole, getting cancer thing. That was stressful because there is no handbook on how to get cancer, folks. No, they don't tell you. They don't type it out like, here's how you react, here's how you feel. So it was a little bit surreal because, you see on TV when somebody gets cancer and it's like, immediately they're in chemo, they've lost all their hair. I already don't have any hair, so I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing with that. In the process of staging the cancer and, knowing, what stage I was at, even though it was an early stage, it's like, what if it comes back? What options? Every appointment I ever went to had like at least 3 or 4 life-altering decisions that I had to make, and it was just a lot. So yeah, I feel like I got my PhD in stress during that whole episode, and yeah, I feel like very confident in the information that we're about to relay to you about stress. I was trying not to make you sip again, but in stress. But before we hop into that, I'm gonna just scroll down and see if there was any sort of questions because, and I know you guys are sharing your situations. You guys are awesome that way. So continue to share them, even if we're not responding to them. Like I said, I was trying not to pay so close attention to the comments because some of them were like, throwing me off my little game, and I didn't want to keep you here like 8 million years. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Yep. No questions, and we'll have burning questions toward the end. Okay. So let's keep it moving to our stress do's and don'ts. So Shannon and I put our heads together and we talked about. Did you take your last sip?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You said it.
Anyway, so we put our heads together and we thought about the things that you don't want to do when you are stressed out, and then the things that you do want to do. So we're going to sort of tag team this. I do one, she does one, and we're just going to talk it out. Feel free to share your thoughts on these do's and don'ts, or if there are any do's and don'ts that we didn't cover in this little segment, feel free to just hop right in there with them, okay? Because we do not know everything. We think we know everything. We don't know everything. Anyway, so top 5-ish stress do's and don'ts. Okay, so first one. Do acknowledge your stress. And this may seem like really, really obvious, but sometimes people try to push past situations without really acknowledging how it's affecting them. They're like, oh, if I just get through this, it'll be fine. I'll come out the other side. No, that's not a good idea. Keeping things bottled up is not a good idea. You will often find that if you hold stress in, that it's going to snowball. You're going to feel the effects. They're going to compound. It's like interest on a loan. It just compounds every single day in your gut. You wake up and you just don't feel right. You're out of sorts and things like that. So the first thing you need to do is really acknowledge it. get it out there. It doesn't necessarily need to be to somebody else, but you need to be honest with yourself and say, look, I'm going through something and it's really having a toll on me. Stress can have physical ramifications. You can feel sick to your stomach. You can lose weight. You can gain weight. You can get insomnia. You can get headaches. There's all sorts of physical symptoms that you can feel, but then also your emotions, just really admitting to yourself that something is going on and that you maybe need a little bit of help with it, or you need to work through it, or you need to treat yourself a little bit gentler, or whatever it is that you've determined that you need to do. But just acknowledge it. Don't just try to push through. Acknowledge it. But what you don't want to do is beat yourself up for being stressed. And I see that a lot, where people and it's not necessarily for being in the situation. No, it's not necessarily for feeling the feeling of stress. It is because you're beating yourself up for the situation that you're in. So I shouldn't have been in this situation in the first place. If I had have done X, Y, Z, I wouldn't be in this situation, and I wouldn't be feeling this way. First of all, that's not kind to yourself. And if there's nothing we say more often, it is to be kind to yourself. You should at least be as kind to yourself as you would be to a stranger. Number two is the fact that it's totally counterproductive. It's not going to help you to beat yourself up. What's going to help you is to make an action plan and move forward. So don't beat yourself up. Now, I feel like it's now time for Shannon's revenge, because she's the next suggestion. Go, Shannon, do.
So one thing you should do is to talk to somebody about your stress. Talk to someone about the stress that you're under, talking to a friend or a trusted relative, or even if you have a therapist or someone that you go to and see, or if it seems to be that you need a therapist, that you don't feel comfortable talking to a friend or family, but you need someone to talk to, find someone to talk to. That can do a lot of load off. Just like, we really literally just saw it right now when I just started talking about the stress that I have been under. It immediately made me feel better. Like one, because I put it out there. I said, yeah, I'm under stress, and I let other people know that I was, and it doesn't make it feel so secluding. You're not, other people know what you're going through, and it doesn't make you feel like you're alone in it. Another thing that talking about your stress can help with coming up with solutions. That's a great way to help reduce the stress of the thing, because you can talk to someone about it and get helpful suggestions on how to get through that next step of how you're going to make it to the next moment. I think that's like super, but we just saw it. We saw the change, like how different it kind of made me seem and feel just talking it out and saying, acknowledging that it was there.
So let's talk about what you don't want to do. Don't want to do.
Okay. So don't just talk to somebody, or don't just talk. Don't expect that talking about it is going to solve the problem.
It does. Now, to be fair, it does help. It is the first. It is the first step. But yes, in and of itself, yeah.
And in most cases, the problem that's stressing you out is not going to be resolved just by saying, yeah, I'm under stress, this is why. You're probably going to have to take some action. You're probably going to have to do something. You're probably going to have to go further than that. But talking is great, but know that it's not going to solve the problem, usually.
Mm-hmm. All righty. So let me see, where are we? For mine, do be kind to yourself. We were just talking about that. Don't, but beyond like self-talk, I'm talking about like when my mom died, for instance, I was not or no, that's a bad example because that's sort of an extraordinary example. When I was going through the diagnosis, there were some things that I just didn't do. I didn't blog a lot. You guys didn't know that that was why I wasn't blogging a lot, but I wasn't blogging a lot. Were it not for Shannon, Bariatric Foodie on Facebook probably would have just been on ice for a while because I couldn't handle it. And I was being kind to myself and saying, look, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to focus on what I need to focus on. I'm going to make the decisions that I need to make. I'm going to absorb this information. I'm going to take the support that's being offered to me. And I am going to, just allow myself to have that time. That's what I mean about be kind to yourself. Give yourself the things that you need in order to get through. Give yourself the time you need, the space you need. If you have a trusted friend or a therapist, give yourself that time to be able to talk about it. Give yourself the emotions to be able to talk about it, and be kind to yourself. But what I don't want you to do, and this is going to come off sounding a little bit harsh, but I see this a lot, is people will get stuck. People will get stuck. So do not use stress to justify mistreating your body in the name of self-care. And what I mean by that is that I see a lot of people, and not necessarily just in the weight loss surgery realm, but in life in general. I'm stressed. I'm being kind to myself. I'm going to eat this package of Oreo cookies. Guys, not a good idea. And I can relate to I can relate to that line of thinking. It's like, it tastes good, it's comforting, I'm gonna just eat the package of Oreo cookies, and that's just gonna be my salvation. Don't do it. Mistreating your body is still mistreating your body, even if it's under the name of stress. So did you take your sip, Shannon? Shannon didn't check me the way I'm checking her. Go ahead, girl. Anyway, so but try to take good care of yourself first and foremost. And the things that you may not be able to go full throttle with your healthy goals, like if you are a 5-day-a-week gym person and you're going through some sort of situation and you may need to pull that back to a couple of days a week or go for a walk instead, all of that is fine, but don't stop taking care of yourself in the name of stress. And further, don't start doing unhealthy things in the name of that self-soothing cycle, because that's just gonna, try to talk yourself out of it. If you feel like you're going there, contact somebody, post on the Bariatric Foodie Facebook page. We will set you back on course. Email me at nikki@bariatricfoodie.com. Anybody who's here who has emailed me knows I do always email you back. So yes, reach out to somebody. And if you have nobody else to reach out to, Shannon and I are definitely people you can reach out to. And the Foodie Nation here is a community that you can reach out to. Shannon,
Right.
What do we do? What's your next do?
The next do is get active if it helps you deal with your stress. There's lots of like medical sciencey stuff behind this, but exercising can burn off that stressful energy. And it helps release endorphins, that kind of like feel good stuff that, and regular exercise can help improve your general mood, which in turn will help you manage that stress. So getting active is a really great way if that helps, if that really helps you deal with that stress. Get out there and do something active. Get your exercise, go to the gym, go for a walk, go for a swim, go for, whatever you like to do that is active. Go out and do it, because it it releases those hormones. It gets you in a better state of being, and it helps you relieve a little of that energy that you're getting.
But what you don't want to do is...
This cracked me up. So basically, you don't want to go from Homer Simpson to Shaun T overnight. Don't overdo it if you're not used to working out. Apart from being pretty dangerous to your body, from going from like 0 to 60 at the gym, it's not good for you, physically. It can really just exacerbate those stressful feelings. and make it become something like, oh, well, this is one more thing that I suck at, or this is one more thing in my life that I'm not, managing to do well, and, or whatever it happens to be. And so don't do that. Do something that you like to do, don't go like head first, run, for 3 miles. It's not that type of mindset isn't healthy either.
And I'm going to just put it out there that being in pain and traction from overexerting yourself is yet another place where you can experience stress. So,
You're
Anita,
messing with me.
and Anita's about to float away from all
I
this. But
saw
are you
that.
guys sipping along? Sip along
Yes.
with us. Sip. It's fun. I'm about to have to re-up, but I have some more water over here. So next time, yeah, you're talking, I'm just gonna
Right.
do that. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So what is next? Okay. So do resolve to make the changes that will help you reduce your stress. And that's the thing that is always so hard for me. Sometimes I want to, not necessarily that I want to wallow in things, but I often don't see my own way out. I can't see the forest for the trees. This is where having trusted friends are good. And I have a lot of trusted friends, one of whom I think is still on this broadcast, Pam. And Pam is I call her my VP of common sense. We'll do a show. I keep saying we'll do a show on something. I need to take notes on this, but we'll do a show in the future about several definite people that I feel like you probably need in your life if you're trying to make real and substantive change. But one of those things is that everybody needs sort of that VP of common sense, that person who, when you're being silly, they tell you you're being silly. If you're worrying about something you shouldn't be worrying about, they tell you that. If they see a very obvious solution to your problems or a first step out of your problems, they will tell you. And the thing that's great about Pam is that she knows me so well that she knows that when she gives me a suggestion for when I'm going off on one of my little mental benders, is immediately, my immediate response is going to be to reject whatever her suggestion is. That's a horrible idea. I could never do that. No. Are you crazy? Do you even know me? And then it's like, it sort of starts to sink in, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe she's right a little bit. I hate it. How does she do that? So,
Yes, it
but you
does.
need a person in your life who feels empowered enough, who feels comfortable enough, who knows you well enough, where they'll tell you that, even if they know that you're probably going to cuss them out as a result. Let's just be
Right.
honest. So,
And just FYI, I
mhm.
got you because I've been taking notes on shows you want to have. So I
Oh,
got them.
boom. See, this is why Shannon and we go together like peas and carrots, Shannon and
Yep.
I, because I just say stuff and Shannon writes it down.
I wrote it down.
So what you do want to do is resolve to make the changes that will help you reduce your stress. And if you can't see those changes, talk to somebody you trust, because I guarantee you an outside perspective is going to be helpful. Somebody else is going to see your way out of it when you can't see your way out of it yourself. But what you don't want to do is make really big life-altering decisions while under great stress. I had a friend who was really stressed out about her relationship. Her significant other she thought that her significant other was not being faithful, and it was like this whole big breakdown moment, like this whole like dramatic breakdown moment. I mean, there was just all the elements of drama. You have like, this was like probably in the beginning of social media, so it was not necessarily like timeline stalking, but like trying to break the code to their like voicemail and looking through their stuff and checking their pockets and all these different things. She's
Oh.
stressed, and so I hadn't talked to her. Oh, sorry. and, and just take one big sip. Anyway,
That's
so
fine.
so I didn't speak to her for like a week, and then I call her back. And I say, how are you doing? And she's like, we got married. And I'm
Oh.
like,
Hmm. Hmm.
how that happen?
Right. Hmm.
Like, what you talking about, Willis? It's like,
Mm.
how did you go from I'm breaking into his voicemail and I'm going to shred his clothes till we got married. And I kid you not, they actually ended up getting an annulment. And now she like denies that she ever dated this person because it
Oh,
just went horribly crash and burn. So
oh
while you
man.
should take steps to get out of your situation, see, I spared you there. Get
Thank
out
you.
of your situation. You should not make a bunch of life altering decisions. And if you feel like you are going in that direction and the temptation is just too great, again, that same VP of common sense. Like, look, if she had come to me, because I was kind of her VP of common sense, like, I want to keep him and I really think we should get married. And I'd be like, girl,
Mm.
girl, you know when it's serious with me, Shannon, is when I make
Mm-hmm.
girl into a two-syllable word. I'm like, girl,
Mm-hmm.
do not do that. So
Right.
anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's mine. Okay, so Shannon, what's your last? I think this is the last one. What's your
I
last
think
one?
it's the last one. So my last one is do have a stress relief plan. So this I was thinking more like plan some activities that you enjoy that help you relax or unwind if you're feeling particularly stressed. I'll catch up on you. Get your, you know, yeah. So those are, things that you may I hate saying this, but like treat yourself. But get yourself some things that, you can treat yourself to some things that will help you calm down or relax or reassess or unwind if you're feeling particularly stressed out. Um, that way you can always fall back on those. You're having a really tough time, this, you acknowledge that. Go and do something for yourself that you're going to enjoy, and that will help maybe reset you. Um,
But what you don't want to do.
what you don't want to do is overwork that plan. Um, don't allow
I'm just
yourself
taking a sip just because I'm
there
thirsty here,
because
for
you're
just
thirsty.
because I'm thirsty.
Cool. All right. Don't don't allow yourself to do those things just anytime or try justifying doing them all the time. Because then they won't really be a effective tool to manage your stress. You'll just be doing them whenever,
So
and
I
it
can
kind of
only get like pedicures when I
right. If that's your stress relieving plan, don't be doing it all the time, because then when you're actually really stressed, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna
See?
drink some water.
There you go. Drink some more water. So yeah,
Don't
don't overwork the plan.
don't overwork the. Say it,
Mm,
Shannon.
I know this is some deep stuff.
Your toes might be jacked up, but don't do it. Anyway, hey, so let's talk about if you are already stressed. You went off the rails. Now, what do you do? And we've gone over some of this before, but we want to sort of just like wrap it up in a little neato.
Reiterate.
So, Shannon, what's the
Mhm.
first thing that we're going to do?
So the first thing that you should do is acknowledge that the stress has led you to unhealthy behaviors. It's a great first step, and it's the first step toward action. Uh, I will tell you, I posted, or I had when we were planning out this episode, I had used some words, some verbiage that seemed a little scary, but acknowledging that stuff really puts it out there, and it makes you either have to live with that elephant in the room and try to ignore it, or you do something about it. And so acknowledgement of the situation that I totally went off and ate a bunch of stuff I shouldn't. You can either like let that sit there, or you do something about it, and you change and you create an action plan to get yourself back.
Well, don't get ahead of yourself.
Okay.
Don't get ahead of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Shannon.
All
All
right.
right. So, next thing we're going to want to do, like we said, be kind, forgive yourself. There may have been things that you have said, that you have done, that you have thought, that you have, actions you put into place that weren't necessarily healthy or conducive to being healthy. And at a point, you have to just sort of say, look, I'm starting fresh. I'm going to get myself out of this situation, but I have to forgive myself and move forward. I can't keep beating myself up. Like I said, it's counterproductive. It doesn't help you get where you want to be. And it is just not kind to you. Okay. So, let's see. So there you go. That's why I said don't get ahead of yourself. You go. What's
So the next thing is to take immediate action to make things better. And this kind of goes with the saying that, oh, I'll do it on Monday, or I'll start next week, or something like that. Usually there's something that you can do right at that moment when you finally come to that moment where you acknowledge that you've gone off track and you've gone off the rails. There's usually one actionable thing you can do right in that moment to put yourself back on track, to put yourself back into the mindset of doing things the way you want to do them in a healthy way. So it doesn't have to be something big. If let's say, for example, it's something to help you resolve your stresses, to go to your support group, that's something you can put it on your calendar. You can set yourself a reminder. It's
Yeah. So
support group is next week, but put it on your calendar. Give yourself 4 reminders. Make sure that you're going. Another thing is that you should probably have some support. So you've made a decision to do something to change the track of where you're going because you were stressed, and it's hard to be spurred on and doing the action all by yourself. But we've been talking a lot about getting support, having a support system. Call somebody and say, hey, listen, I have lost my mind and I really think that I need to get back to support group. Please call me and say, hey, are you going to go to support group? Or if you've got a friend who goes to the same support group, say, hey, you want to go with me? Something like that. Get someone that you trust to help get you where you need to be. Talk with them, tell them what you need, and tell them how they can best help you. So if you need someone to literally pick you up and take you because you're not, and drop me off.
I'm gonna drop you off, girl.
Right.
Get
that support.
And if any of you have done my Bariatric Foodie 10-day back on track challenge, and for those of you who took advantage of last week's, if you're on my email list, you get these little nuggets of good information. Like last week, I had a flash sale where I introduced the very brand new edition of the Bariatric Foodie Back on Track toolkit, which I'll put the link on there, but it's bariatricfoodie.com/back on track to learn more about that. It's I don't just tell you to take an action. I tell you to take an action right now. What can you do right now? Because the sooner you build that momentum, the better. Once you put something in motion, it's easier to keep it in motion. If you delay it, it's easier to talk yourself out of it. So basically, what can you do right now to start changing things? And along with that, the other thing you get in that challenge when you do the toolkit and the challenge is accountability. Don't forget about accountability, guys. Accountability is extremely important. And I know it's then I got to tell somebody that I messed up and I'm going to feel like a flunky. And then I got to talk about my feelings. And then I'm going to come back and be like, are you better? And I'm going to be like, leave me alone. I just want to eat my cookie. So see how that thought process can just go on and on and on. But accountability is important, mainly in this situation, because of the fact that a lot of times we will do things because we told others we will do them that we wouldn't do just if we promised ourselves. Sad, but true. So being accountable, especially to somebody else in a situation where you need to get out of it, that will help you take action. That will help you follow through with whatever it is you said you're going to do. So don't forget about accountability. Have that friend, have that VP of common sense, that trusted friend, that therapist, that whoever it is, to say, hey, you know what, this is what I'm going to do to get out of this situation, and bug me if you haven't heard from me. simple as that. It's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to broadcast this on your Facebook timeline, go live. That seems to be the thing when people are stressed out now. They just go live and just like, and you can tell it's going to be good if they go live and they have like wine in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I hate to like get entertainment off of other people's misfortune, but I'm always just like,
Popcorn. Just here for the comment.
it's like, look, I'll try and talk you out of it, but if you are intent on doing it, I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the kind of friend I am. Anyway, so don't forget about accountability. And last but not least,
You want to celebrate your progress, big and small, the baby steps. If you've come through and you make it a day where you have followed, you set out a plan, you resolve to change, you did something right away to help you get back on track, and you did it, that's amazing. Celebrate that, because that's important.
it is. And you
It's
got to
so
celebrate
important.
those moments. Okay, so that sort of concludes our discussion on that. I feel like we should both take one last sip, but we have to say it simultaneously to
All
trigger
right.
each other's one. 3, 2, 1. Stress. I literally had one drop of water left.
See, I still have.
My cup is
I
emptieth.
I made a dent though, like I did.
I was like, yeah,
It's dry. Cup hath run empty.
my
Oh
cup runneth
man.
empty. Anyway, so while we contemplate that, if you have any burning questions, and I'm going to take this opportunity to look back on the conversation to see
Yes.
what interesting and compelling and wonderful things that you have said. Let's see. Cheryl likes my new glasses. I like my new glasses, but most of all, I like being able to see stuff. It's like you never knew that you couldn't see stuff until you can see stuff. You're like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I had 2 children. Anyway, let's see. Margaret, she said her stress relief plan includes chocolate covered espresso beads. We've been there, Margaret. We have been there. Okay, so let's see. Are our eyes floating yet? Actually, I didn't have that much water to begin with, so you know,
I'm all right.
I'm okay. This went a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Right.
So yeah.
Generally drink more. I generally drink more during a regular live show than what I have currently, because I was drinking less.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see any like big burning questions, but okay. So I'm gonna like go through the rest of what we have to go through, and if you have any questions, stick them in there. If the broadcast ends and you have a question, just put it in the comments. One of us will be along, or a foodie will be along. We're really great at answering each other's questions. So okay, so I just want to remind you once again that, wait a minute, why is this not like, okay, be live, don't play with me. You can subscribe to updates on the live show at bariatricfoodie.com/live, which is a good idea. Like I said, we will email you about a half hour before it's time to go live. You can go, you can get your dinner, you can, set up your little setup, whatever you need to do, and get ready for Bariatric Foodie Live. I will tell you what it is that we will be talking about. You can get yourself in the mindset. You can have your little moment, and that'll be great. So bariatricfoodie.com/live. We will put that URL in the status message so that you can click it and click it and click it and click it. Okay, so and then, as we said earlier, the Bariatric Foodie Pledge starts January the 28th. That is our big challenge. And as of next week, we are going into pledge coverage on Bariatric Foodie Live. So for the next 6 shows, we will be talking about the pledge. Next week, we're going to be going in depth about how the pledge works, where people tend to get lost in this challenge in hopes of steering you in the right direction before the challenge even begins, and just answering your questions, because it's a lot of information to sort of take in. It's not a hard challenge. It's just takes a lot of words to explain it. So we're going to start off from there. Then once the challenge begins, each week we're going to be talking about the weekly prize sponsors. We're going to be showing you their products. We're going to be trying out their products. and giving you our reaction. If you've ever seen a live review here on Bariatric Foodie Live, we are hilarious and we don't hold anything back. So if we didn't like it, you will see it. And then the very last show will be really exciting because that's when people will be competing for the grand prize. Because there's 4 weeks where you compete for a weekly prize package, but if you participate in all 4 weeks of the Bariatric Foodie Pledge, you are eligible to compete for the grand prize. And the grand prize is winner takes all. So every prize that every person won for the whole 4 weeks, you can win it for taking part in all 4 weeks of the Bariatric Foodie Pledge. So you're going to want to understand how the challenge works. So you're going to want to tune in next week to ask any questions that you have. You're going to want to be signed up, by the way. So you can go to bariatricfoodie.com/take the pledge to do that. Super simple sign up process. And then I personally walk you through the whole process of how it works. And so, and I actually think I'm actually wearing this sweater. And
I
when
think you are. It's so cute.
Anyway, so I will walk you through that whole process and make sure that you understand I'm here for questions and everything. But the big thing is get yourself signed up. Yes, Mary is on and she won the grand prize. The UPS guy was visiting her house like every other day, bringing her stuff. She was nice enough to post about it, but it's a big prize. It's like a $700-800 prize if you win the grand prize, but you do have to participate to win it. So go to bariatricfoodie.com/take the pledge, get signed up. Even irrespective of the prizes, a lot of people at the end of this challenge just find that they have accomplished so much for themselves because they went into it knowing the things that they wanted to work on, knowing the kinds of goals that they wanted to set, using that accountability, using that support system, using all of the information that they had, and coming out the other side having accomplished something really great for themselves. So I want that for all of you. There is a pledge private Facebook group. You guys know me. I don't do private Facebook groups on the regular. And, I have a couple of them floating around that I'm in, but like a large scale private Facebook group is not something that I do, but I do it for the pledge. So you have a place that you can go, you can talk to others, you can talk to other pledgers, get ideas about your goals, and get ideas about how to handle life and all of these different things. So, it's just going to be an extraordinary event and you're going to want to be a part of it and you're going to want to say that you are a part of it. So go to bariatricfoodie.com/take the pledge, get signed up. It starts January 28th. You want to sign up before January 28th so that you are competing from the beginning so that you are eligible to win that grand prize.
Yes.
So with that, me and Nancy McKee in the wig are going to go home now. But first I'm going to take a stop by the ladies' room. But like I said, we will be back next week and we will be talking all things pledge. So get yourself signed up and jot down any questions that you have because we will be discussing them next week on our next episode of Bariatric Foodie Live. Have a great evening, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Bye.